Triangle congruency shortcuts. What other types of information can determine that two triangles are congruent? Examine the pairs of triangles below to decide what other type of information force triangles to be congruent. For each pair of triangles below, state if the triangles are congruent or only similar based on the given information. All right, so let's look at letter A. Remember, we need to prove, in order for it to be congruent, we need to prove similarity and a side is congruent. So, first of all, do we have similarity? So yes, we do. We've got side, side, side similarity. All the ratios are going to equal 1. And so then the next thing is, do we have a side congruent? Well, we know A is congruent to A. What property is that? That is going to be reflexive property. Anytime anything is congruent to itself, that's always reflexive property. So since we have the triangles that are similar and we have at least one side congruent, we know these are congruent. All right, letter B, hypotenuse leg, HL. So first of all, do we have triangles similar? All right, this one might be a little bit confusing, but yes, we do have triangles similar. So which similarity theorem tells us it's similar? The correct answer is going to be side, side, side similarity. And if it's going to be side, 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 we need to know all three sides are similar. So we obviously know H and H are going to correspond. I'll color these. We know leg and leg is going to correspond, which leaves this extra side, this extra orange side. And even though we're not given what those orange sides are, I know by Pythagorean theorem, if I was to use Pythagorean theorem here, since we have a right triangle, I know that this x would have to be the same as that. So I know that those two things have to be the same, thus we have side, side, side similarity. And if you're not sure of how I got that, just feel free to either go into tutorial or ask the sub that's with you today, or ask me tomorrow. All right, the next thing is we have to see, do we have sides congruent? And just like in letter A, we do. We can say H is congruent to H. And how do we know this? Once again, that's going to be reflexive. Since anytime something is congruent to itself, it's always reflexive property. So since we have similarity and we have a side congruent, we have two triangles that are congruent. Next one. All right, for C, we have to first figure out if we have similarity. If we've got all three angles similar, then yes, we're going to have angle similarity. And the next thing we need to know is, do we have side ratios equaling 1, or do we have congruent sides? I actually don't know anything about the sides, so I can't say that the side ratios are 1. I can't say that any of the sides are congruent, so the only thing this is going to be is similar. Question D, angle, side. So first thing, can I prove this is similar? Yes, I can. What theorem says it's similar? Good. Angle, similarity. Since I have two angles that are congruent to each other. And the next thing, do I have a side that is congruent? And if I match up corresponding sides, I can first match up the one with the tick mark with the one that has a tick mark. I can match up the side that's in between the two angles and the side that's in between the two angles. And then we've got the remaining side, which I'll make orange. So yes, we have similarity, and then yes, I have my yellow sides that are congruent. So yellow sides are congruent. How do I know they're congruent? That is going to be given this time. So because of the tick marks, I know they're congruent. That's given. So because I have similarity and I have a side that is congruent, the whole triangles are congruent. And next one, letter E, side-side angle. All right, first thing I need to do is prove that these triangles are similar. If we're given an angle that's congruent, as well as two sides that are congruent, do we have congruency, or do we have similarity? Sorry. And the answer is no, actually. The only way to prove similarity is either side, 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 but we do not know the remaining side. Otherwise, we could do angle, angle, but we only know one angle, we don't know two. And then our other option is side, angle, side, but the angle has to be in between the two sides, and I don't know anything about that. So not similar and not congruent. And last one, we've got angle, side, angle. All right, so first thing, how can I prove that these two triangles are similar? Perfect, so angle, angle, similarity. Hopefully you got that right. Since I have this angle and that angle congruent, as well as these two angles congruent. And the last thing is, do I have at least one side equal? Yes, I do. I've got M is congruent to M. So therefore, we've got two triangles that are congruent. All right, so there are a bunch of new properties to prove that we have congruency. So in the first problem, we have side angle side congruency. We have side 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 congruency. We have the HL congruency, or this is also called the HL postulate. We have angle angle side, and we have angle side angle. So we will put these in our notebook tomorrow, but for right now, just kind of keep them in mind, and we will use them for the back page. So go ahead and go on to that back page.